Konnichiwa and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolute nothing. This week we are talking about Japan.
We are indeed.
And we're on episode 70.
We are?
Yes. Stick around if you want to hear more. Oh, hello Dad. What lovely weather we've got.
Konnichiwa, Musuko. Yes, it's really balmy hot, isn't it?
Is that what that means?
No, that's hello sun.
Oh.
I thought I'd do that. Do you know what hello father is?
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Dad.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was just asking if you'd looked it up.
No,
but clearly not. No.
Why would I do that?
I don't know why you do that. Perhaps preparation or something, you know. But never mind. Yes, it is absolutely baking hot, isn't it?
Yes.
And I don't know whether we've got the fan on in here. I don't know whether that will get picked up on the mics.
No.
It won't. Well, we've got to have it because it is, I think it's the hottest day of the year, isn't it? To the point where I was even asked to go into work early so I could get the work done because I have an outside job, work done before
you have
the
an outside job other than this?
I have an outside job. I have a proper job, and then there's this.
It's all right. Temps to plummet tomorrow, apparently.
Yes, well, it will do, won't it? Because I'm camping over the weekend, so that's going to make that more interesting. Thunderstorms as well.
It's 28 degrees right now, apparently.
And bearing in mind the time it is.
Feels like 29.
Yeah, but I think it must have been well over 30 today. So we're not used to that, are we? We're not very good at that in this country. We can't deal with...
Humidity 43%, wind 16 miles per hour.
Well, a bit earlier it was quite windy, but it was still very hot.
15 degrees.
I feel like you're reading that off from somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is certainly making this quite difficult to do because we're both really, really warm.
You've got no shirt on.
I've got no shirt on. I'm back to wearing no shirt. I did get told that maybe I wouldn't be admitted to the room with no shirt on, but I couldn't see how that would be a problem considering I've done it before. I'm not sure.
But now you're in my chair. You used to sit in your own chair.
In your own chair. Well, I do apologise. I'll get someone around to clean this chair afterwards if you like. Yeah. I'm sitting in a room as well. It looks like I'm in an American convenience store because there seems to have been sort of an explosion of stuff within your room this week. There's
a one bedside table.
Yeah, but there's boxes in front of me as well that have got them on. So you've been raiding, haven't you?
No, because that makes it sound like I'm stealing everything.
Oh, right, sorry, you've been buying, haven't you?
Yes, been buying.
Yes. What have you been buying?
American stuff. Like...
Is it all
Fanta
illegal? Orange,
Fanta grape, some Cheetos and some carrot cake flavoured Oreos.
Yes, I had one of them earlier. You only need to have... They should last quite a while, shouldn't they?
Yeah, there's so much sugar in one that it just overpowers it and you go, that's enough.
Was you missing American sweets and pop, were you?
I miss American Fanta Orange.
Yeah.
Because...
Does it taste different then?
Yeah, it does. It does. And you've seen it, haven't you? The colour difference.
Yeah. I do get a little bit concerned with...
The label of Fanta in this country is the same colour as the actual drink.
Yeah.
In America.
In America, yeah.
Whereas Fanta here is a kind of yellowy orange, whereas theirs is orange, like sunset orange.
It is sunset orange, yeah. Yeah, I do worry when I look at the colours in some of that stuff. But yes, very nice. Brings you a little bit of America into your own room and that.
And a bit of overexcitement because of all the colours in it.
Exactly. You're probably a little bit hyper. You're not looking particularly hyper at the moment, I must admit.
No, it's just been a long day of work and...
Very hot.
Very hot. I almost was laying in bed earlier and just felt like I could have gone to sleep.
Oh, I'm always like that. You wait until you get old.
Well, no, you did fall asleep earlier.
Oh,
this is why I've got the fan in my room because I walked in there and you were just laying in bed asleep.
I wasn't in bed, I was laying on the bed. There's a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go to bed tonight, Dad, how are you going to sleep?
Well, initially I'll lay on the bed and I'm not actually gone to bed then. Going to bed is when you lift up the covers and get underneath.
Right, okay. But what happens if it's too hot?
I lay on top of the bed.
Right. But not in bed?
No.
Okay, but there was the fan just sitting on the laundry basket, not plugged in or anything. So I thought, I'm nabbing that.
I got told off for having it on, and they had it sat on the seat. It could have been a fire risk. Apparently, I was chastised the other night. So
what?
And we had the lead isn't long enough. Yeah, I'd put it on the seat because the lead wasn't long enough to be plugged in. And,
what seat?
And I got told the seat near the corner of the room.
Oh, like
but because it's fabric and because it could have got warm, I wasn't allowed to do it anymore. So that's why the fan wasn't on.
So you've been banned from the fan?
I've been banned from using the fan, yeah. In fact, the only reason I'm allowed it with my fan ban at the moment is the fact that you're using it and I just happen to be in the same room.
Fan ban.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sam.
Yes. Talking of Sam, I watched...
what?
The next episode of Kenobi the other day. I know we've got to get onto the subject matter, but I watched it. I'm very surprised that he hasn't been mentioned in the end credits, Sam.
What, Brooke?
Yeah, being
I didn't mean to say his surname.
No, you shouldn't have said. You're going to have to bleep that out now. Because he's a close personal friend, so I would have thought that he'd have shared his newfound success in bringing back the character with and maybe a little sort of nod to seeing him at Longleat or something in one of the episodes.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think they should have done that. Oh, there's still time. How many more episodes are there?
1.
Oh, well, he's got to do it this one, hasn't he? There you go. Anyway, who-de who? Anything else we need to talk about? Oh, pizza oven. I'm very fat at the moment.
There is one bit I can confirm, by the way. I don't need to bleep out his name.
Oh, why is that?
Because I've essentially been given permission to use it. So.
Oh, excellent. That's good. Anything else? Can we use anything else?
Because he created something for me to put on the website that has his name on it. So, what's going on?
Hang on. That was a bit spooky.
What happened there?
I don't know. I don't want to say her
was
name.
Was the Amazon Echo just singing a song
just
there?
sang sort of some sort of 40s sort of... That was weird. That was a bit creepy. That don't happen when you're... If you leave the room and that starts happening, I might have to run away.
Pizza oven.
Yeah, sorry. We'll just quickly get through this as well. Pizza oven. I've got to say, we mentioned it last time. What a success that's been. I can honestly say, and this is not buttering you up.
You don't butter pizza.
They were delicious.
The first one was better. And
I did worry, because let's face it, there was one point you spent about 24 hours kneading the dough for. It felt like that though, didn't it?
Right.
And there was one point when I walked out and you were sitting on the floor in the kitchen looking really despondent, still kneading the dough, I think, or you still had it near you.
I had dough on my hands, but the dough was in the
but you looked completely sort of shattered and sort of distraught about it all. But you got up in the end and you got back on it. And I must admit, you done some pizzas in the evening, didn't you? And they were, I've got to say, they were one of the best pizzas, if not the best pizza I've ever had.
Well, I made the dough myself. I made the tomato sauce myself. I made the chicken. No, I didn't make the cheese myself. But I made the pizza.
No, I was most impressed. And what we had some the other night again. And I'm getting fat with pizza.
Do you know what's for dinner tomorrow?
Pizza?
Yep.
Oh, excellent.
Genuinely.
But then genuinely, I know that because I'm not here, but you've got people coming around, haven't you? Well, not just people.
Becky and Sam.
You and McGregor's best mate and Becky, yeah.
Yeah.
But bravo. Excellent stuff as far as the pizza is concerned. Bravo. Oh. You've done an excellent job with that. Anyway.
I thought you were going to say, no, I'm Sano, not Bravo.
Talking of sun, let's talk about the land of the rising sun. Ding. Japan. Now, what?
I don't know why. It's just a change from Japan.
No, it wasn't like that. It's just that I know we're sort of nearly 9 minutes in and I haven't even mentioned it yet. We were talking the other day.
Well, actually, we will be 9 minutes in.
We will, yeah.
Because once it's edited.
Yes. Anyway, we were talking about places around the world, and we haven't. Neither of us have travelled that much, but
so we're the best people to talk about it.
We're absolutely the best people to talk about it, but there's certain places in the world, certain countries in the world that I find fascinating, and Japan is one of those because it seems like such a different culture. It seems so unique compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And I know it's strayed. I mean, there's a lot more. They're a lot more westernised, or if maybe they're not. Maybe it's just
our perspective.
Perspective of it. But it just seems a fascinating country and somewhere I'd love to go and see. But in the meantime, we thought we'd have a little chat about it, didn't we? So, what do you... I mean, as far as Japan's concerned, I guess from your point of view...
The Jedi are evil.
Oh, no, that's come back, has it?
Well, we were talking about Ewan McGregor, so it makes sense.
Okay. In your opinion... The Jedi are evil. So, in your opinion... I think technology is a massive thing in modern day Japan. I mean, they've always been innovative.
Innovative.
Yeah. But...
Innovative.
But there's a lot of technology, going back to my youth as well and coming through it, that's originated from Japan. So from you're a gamer as such, you like your tech. Do you see a lot of the stuff you've got made in that country, or has that been a big impact on what you do?
I wouldn't say that stuff I've got was made in that country, because a lot of the stuff I've got wasn't made in that country. However, a lot of the stuff I've got stems from that country.
Well, you think they've started it off, and then people have, like they do with everything, people have come in and sort of made the same or used a certain amount of that technology and pushed it on an extra level.
Well, yeah, like, for example, an LCD screen.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're an expert in them. They were made in...
Liquid crystal dimensions. I was doing well, wasn't I, up until the D?
Yeah, pretty good. Anyway, so they were first kind of invented in Japan. There's a lot of camera technology, communicative technology, like we say, visual technology and stuff like that stems from Japan. Not just the stuff that was created there, as in like the actual inventions, but there was also a lot of, like you said, innovations and stuff where they took certain technology and made something new with it. For example, there's a big... I'm not sure you've heard of it, actually. Not sure how famous it is, but there's a company called Nintendo.
No.
No, never heard of it. I think they made a thing called the Gammy Boy.
Right, okay. Characters?
What?
Was there particular characters?
Marios.
Were they butchers? They were butchers, weren't they?
Yeah, butchers from Spain.
Yeah. No, hang on. There's a point there. Right, okay, so we're talking Nintendo and we're talking about the sort of... Oh, wow. I mean, loads of things that have come up through there.
Game Boy, GameCube, Nintendo 64.
I mean, Sony is or certainly was a Japanese company. So that's a PlayStation. Have they got a monopoly on all gaming stations?
Are you talking about Sony?
Sony PlayStation. Japan, yeah.
Don't think Microsoft is in them.
No. But okay, so but there's quite a large part of the market there that's Japanese then.
Yeah, but the big thing being is you think about it kind of leads into the gaming kind of industry, leads into Japanese culture of like the of manga, anime, and a certain design features, and it's I think the term is kawaii type culture.
All right, okay.
Cute things, stuff like that.
Oh right, so yeah,
colourful.
It's a sort of
when you compare it to some westernized things.
Yeah.
Have a look at Nintendo games with your reds, your blues, your greens, and stuff like that, and then you look at the saturation difference on westernized games.
All right, to that degree, it's not just
it's not something. This is more
anatomy of that particular art. It's because, like you say, there'd be like big eyes and cute and small and this, that, and the other. You know, the various. It's a distortion of features, as far as I can make out.
I'm generalising, and I'm also making my own observations of what I think a Japanese type video game is.
Yeah,
but when you think of a Japanese video game, you do think things like Mario or Pokemon or something like that.
Oh, Pokemon as well.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that's come out. So yeah, that was a huge thing. Would the Power Rangers have come out from? Certainly, I think made in Japan.
I don't know.
Don't know if the actual.
The way you've mentioned it makes it sound like you know.
No.
Do you not?
No, I'm just throwing things. I'm trying to sound relevant.
Tweenies?
What about Teletubbies? No, I know those things aren't. But sorry. So going back to that, then, it does sound like there's a shift, and it has been taken on board by. I'm going to say because it is an Eastern culture compared to a Western culture, but that is very much very popular around the world, isn't it? It's not something that's
it's one of a huge export for them, especially Pokemon. I think Pokemon's one of the biggest games and most recognised games across the world.
It's a strange thing though, isn't it? Because like when you think about how did it start? What was the original thing with Pokemon? Was it the cards, or was it a book, or was it the TV?
So it was there was this original man called Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah.
I get the feeling you're just making this up now.
And he had a pet rabbit.
Right.
Called Chewy.
Yeah.
Who one day got a cold. And we go, Pika. And that's how you got Pikachu. And he dyed it yellow and made it fight skunks.
Do you know, it almost sounded at the beginning like you knew what you were talking about, and then it's just veered off into nonsense again, hasn't it? So
if you think about Pokemon, though, it is almost like making these animals fight each other.
Oh, a bit like your...
dog fighting.
1,000 moths against an orangutan, and golden retriever against a lab. If anybody remembers, or if anybody wants to go back, there's the game at the end of Animals. I think it was probably one of our very early ones.
Yeah, it made you very angry.
It made me extremely angry. And you can hear me build up, I was just getting infuriated as it went on. And if any right-minded person listening to that, and I'm sorry again because we're veering off from Japan, but if you listen to that, you would understand how I felt, because I asked specific questions about that quiz and was met with just a brick wall from Connor, which ultimately meant it was
just you got to answer this and see if it matches the correct answer.
The correct answer, that was the thing, yes. Anyway, but so the Pokemon, that they actually fight each other. Is that, I know nothing about these things. I know Pikachu.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I know nothing. I know nothing about a lot of things, but that particularly I know nothing about. But it's huge, and again, it seems to be wasn't it in the 80s that was originally out, or maybe in the 90s. But now again, it's huge. There's other things. weren't there the thing a little while ago where you used to wander around the streets and Pokemon Go and stuff like that? It's just
that was like 2016.
And it 2016, I suppose, yeah. But we forget about 2 years. So really, that was only 4 years ago.
No.
Because 2 years don't count, because we couldn't do anything in those 2 years.
Wow.
So, okay, so that side of things as well. So you've got the gaming and the...
I think they actually changed Pokemon Go in those 2 years because you couldn't travel as much, so they made it a little bit easier to an extent.
What, just ran you home, like? Or only for the hour you were allowed out?
Yeah, that's it.
Every day, in every way, the things people do, the things people say, just irritate me, please sedate me. These are the things that really get my goat.
As a postman, people insist on talking to you about extreme weather while they are safely inside and you are outside being exposed to said elements.
So the year is 1986.
Right.
And you were sitting in your living room, you flick on the TV, and bam! Takeshi's Castle.
1986?
Yep.
So I was 18?
Yep, sure. And it went all the way up until 1990.
Oh, only 4. Oh, really? Only 4 years?
Yeah. To an extent, that's its original release.
Yeah.
It was. It has been made in a number of places since then. I think there was like a Korean one and a. But it was Taiwan, maybe I can't remember. But yeah,
it was one of these things though. I gotta say that I've seen, and it's a sort of program you sit there and you go, what the hell is going on? Like, what on earth? And it's, if I remember rightly, wasn't it narrated? I think Craig Charles has done it, but Jonathan Ross has done it as well. Who have been? He's very into Japanese culture anyway, but they've narrated it, so it had sort of a link into us as far as a familiar voice talking about it. But it's a game show as such, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. It was a game show. It was like was it like 100 odd people would take on these crazy like challenges, but they would basically be to get to Takeshi's castle. I think there was a story behind it, and Takeshi was the person who had the castle and stuff like that. And you had to try and beat him all the way up, and then you get some prize money if you get to the end. I'm trying to remember. There was.
It almost seemed like it had a cult sort of following within Japan as well as outside, because it's certainly one of those things that you can't really understand why it takes off like it, because it's ridiculous. But in this country, how it took off like it did, but there was something about it. There was, I mean, most of the people I saw as contestants on it, no matter what happened to them, would be laughing and joking and thoroughly enjoying themselves. Didn't seem to be a problem that they sort of went head first into the water or whatever.
Do you know how many winners there were? Right. According to General Tanny, there was 9
in all that time.
In all that time, although apparently it says there was actually 36, but official winners, according to them, there was 9.
And do you know how much they won? If they no,
I think it only worked out like something, however many yen, which worked out to only be like £1,000.
It sounds like a bit of a pointless, where there's all this. You get all the way through it and you might win £1,000.
Yeah.
But it did seem, it was a phenomenon, as I say. It certainly, but can you see what I mean? Why though? We had like, it's in the 70s, it's a knockout. And I guess we used to watch people from around the world dressed up with these huge boots, having water thrown at them. Very similar. And then you had Wipeout. Yeah, like that was a similar sort of thing again.
Well, do you know how many injuries there were on Takeshi's castle?
I'd imagine there was quite a lot, because some of them used to have some real sort of. Go on.
There was no reported injuries.
Oh, no reported injuries. Okay. Well, they all seem to be laughing and joking.
This is a big difference, I think, and it might be a generalisation, whatever, but it's a big difference in terms of Japanese culture and Japanese game shows, in the fact that people don't necessarily always go on there to win or whatever, but there seems to be a culture of go on there to be on TV. Everyone wants their moment on TV.
Oh, right. Okay.
And there also is a less of a problem with things like health and safety. So there's not so many health and safety regulations in place, which means they can pretty much do whatever they want. And I've seen clips of game shows where they pretty much whack people with hammers. Like big hammers, chase them around and stuff. It's really strange, some of the Japanese shows.
People seem to be very happy to do it, though, don't they? That's the bizarre thing. I've not seen any that people look miserable.
Do you remember the one particular game on Takeshi's Castle that was like a maze of like hexagonal kind of rooms with doors?
Oh,
and there'd be like these two
chasing
guards going around chasing you essentially to catch you.
I'd hate that.
Yeah. And you have to make it out the other end.
Yeah. Oh, perhaps that's the next. Father and son do Takeshi's Castle. Yeah, with 2 people chasing them through a hexagonal maze.
Are you going to make the hexagonal maze?
We've got a lot of cardboard. And
have we got enough cardboard?
Oh, well, no.
We'll have 1 hexagon.
Okay, because that's going to be the only reason we don't do it. So anyway,
along with many other reasons.
Oh, exactly, yeah. But
that's probably one of the most famous Japanese game shows.
But so you're saying that there is a general rule that there's no rules Is that what you're saying as far as health and safety?
Oh, no. So health and safety is just... I think the point being is it's not so much of a concern.
No. Okay.
Not to level as Squid Game. They don't go shooting their contestants.
No, well, I do think that's probably Well, I do know that's just an extreme sort of drama TV
but
phenomenon
it does stem from a need to... like a desperate need of putting people in these desperate situations, because all of those people I've never watched it.
No, so I don't know what
the too much.
Premise is that they're in... And is that Japanese or is that...
No, it's Korean.
That's Korean, is it?
I think.
Yeah, so... But it follows a line of going through these particular games and challenges, but they're very violent games and challenges. So I guess
they're
that's
very
just
basic games and challenges, but if you get them wrong, then you get shot.
Oh, right, okay. Well, blimey. But that's Korea. That's not Japan. Do you know, something I've been reading about Japan is how...
What have you been reading about
friendly
Japan?
The Japanese are. And I think the culture in Japan... I'm not saying people were unfriendly, but they were quite a closed country. You know... a quite a private sort of country as well, and because their culture was very different from Western culture, you know, we didn't know a lot about it, but they've opened up as a country and seem to be very welcoming, very friendly, very healthy. They I think their life expectancy, I mean, I think 2 of the oldest people alive live in Japan.
But the problem is they've got an ageing population, haven't they?
Yeah, they have got an ageing population, which is causing them a little bit of a problem there. But an extremely healthy... I think there's been a change in... Because they do eat a lot of meat, but there used to be a lot more meat eaten even there. But there seems to be a lot more around keeping yourself fit and sort of looking after yourself and that. And that would... And cow, but that shows with the life expectancy of people anyway. So incredible. One of the things that has always fascinated me about
Japan,
and do you know they've got, like, if you think about sports, they've got a reasonable football team now, soccer team as people would know it.
No.
There's, you know, various athletes and such come from Japan, but their most popular sport, do you know what the most popular sport in Japan is?
Cheese rolling.
No, it's
Sumo.
not cheese. No, it's baseball, which kind of shows... I did know that, actually. It kind of shows the sort of Western influence as well, and the embracing of some Western culture. Thankfully, not all Western cultures, because they seem to be a very friendly people, the Japanese, rather than some of the people in the Western countries that they might emulate. But sumo comes in, I believe it is now the sort of second most popular sport. Now, that fascinates me. It's like nothing else that exists. I mean,
except you think wrestling.
No, but it's not like wrestling though, is it? When you look at because there's sort of, what would you call it? There's a ceremony to it almost. It's more than just a sport. When you think about what happens, I mean, basically, either got to push each other out of the ring or...
push them to their knees.
Yeah, so basically only the soles of their feet can touch the floor. So if any other body part touches the floor, it's over. But it appears to be, when I looked at it, something very honourable, very... revered, like sumo wrestlers are revered, the ones that make it. It starts from a very early age, but I don't know if this is the case now, but certainly originally children would be taken away from their families in order to pursue it. It was almost like they had to. I mean, you have that in sport.
With me.
No,
because I did play sumo as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
When did you do sumo?
When I did martial arts.
Ah, I forgot you were a bit of a ninja.
And they used to do a warm-up some days by having games of sumo.
So what would that involve? Literally trying to push each other, or is that to do with balance and trying to how would that up. Just literally to warm you up? You'd be
probably also a bit of fun because we're a bunch of kids.
Well, yeah, no,
you
fair
do
enough.
the whole hands on floor, lift your legs, lift your other leg, and then go kind of thing.
No, well, did you know there's an age limit to it? There's a federation of sumo wrestlers, and really, very rarely do people over the age of 23. I know. So, unfortunately, you're probably too old now to become a professional sumo wrestler. They don't get paid an awful lot unless they're at the top of their profession. So the top ranked ones will get a decent wage, but other than that, they don't get much at all. Obviously, there's some health problems involved because I don't think all sumo wrestlers are large, for want of a better word.
Do you need to cough?
Fat. No. Why? Is my voice breaking up a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that any better?
No.
Okay, well, I'm just going to have to go with it then.
It's
obviously better. The ones you see or when they're portrayed are very big, and obviously that's not good for you, that amount of body weight and body fat on you. But obviously, as far as power, that's what they need. But so it does in later life cause a lot of problems. I think I read the heaviest sumo wrestler, and I don't know what this equates to in stones, but
it's all right. I'm better with kilograms.
Well, Kanishiki was 287 kilograms.
So it's quite heavy, isn't it?
It's very, very heavy.
Do you know what that is in grams?
Well,
287,000.
Right, so what is that in stone then? Because I know how much I weigh, so, are we...
I don't know.
Oh.
But that in a...
Well, what do you weigh in
that's
kilograms?
287 bags of... what?
What do you weigh in kilograms?
I don't know what I weigh in stone either.
Oh, okay.
287 kg to stones.
Right, okay. 45 stone. That is unreal. That's yeah. Anyway, women. I didn't know whether women. Just moving on to women. I didn't know whether. I've never seen women sumo wrestlers, but when I looked into, they do wrestle, but they can only wrestle amateur. They're not allowed to be professional at this point in time. But they didn't seem to have the weight. They seemed to be more nimble, had power, were built for power, but sort of more nimble to get round the ring. That was more like what we'd see as normal wrestling. But it fascinates me because I think there's just a culture to it. There's a look to it. It's like nothing else. It is like wrestling, but that specific thing, and that's what I love about somewhere like Japan. There's elements there that are just unique. Just going through, it's made up of 6,852 islands. I didn't realise that. I knew that obviously there was the main islands of it. Apparently 421 of those are inhabited, and there's another one that's inhabited by what?
Cats.
Rabbits.
There's a cat island though.
There is a cat island. I don't know where that is, but this one's a rabbit island. People go and visit the rabbit island. But apparently I didn't realise there was... It originally had labs and whatever on there, and they were using they were testing on the rabbits, which obviously is something we're trying to get away from with these things. But then they were released, but because rabbits being rabbits, what do? They just have lots of other rabbits, babies and things like that. They
breed like
rabbits. And now the place...
other things
that breed like rabbits.
Yep.
But apparently they're everywhere on there. Now,
gerbils.
I got to say, I would be a little bit unnerved by that. I like a rabbit. I like a cat.
Like the bishop from Father Ted.
Oh, he don't like them, does he? No. But that basically, things en masse. It's like saying we've said this before. If I saw a rat, if I saw rats, it starts to become a little bit more unnerving.
Saw cat.
A cat. Lots of cats. You start to think, hang on.
You see orangutan. You see orangutans.
Yeah.
You see
1,000 moths. I wouldn't be so bothered about that.
You see a fish. You see lots of fish.
Yeah. Things en masse.
Dog. Yeah. Lots of dogs.
Yeah, okay.
Puppy.
What are you just...
Lots of puppies.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so bothered about that.
Right.
Giant pandas.
I'm trying to see where we'd go with it.
The baby giant pandas. That I've seen lots of videos of them. They look quite funny. Pandies, is that what they call them, yeah?
No.
Various different languages within Japan. For regions, it's very different from here. We've got regional accents, but we haven't... I suppose we've got...
Regional dialect.
Yeah, regional dialect. Religion as well. Various different religions, obviously Buddhism, Shinto, I believe, and Confucianism, which isn't easy to say, which I presume is when you hear these things, Confucius says, and then there's a proverb or,
touch your head.
Put your hands on your head.
Confucius says.
Yeah,
touch
things
your
like
head.
that. Yeah.
And if you just say touch your head, you get kicked out of the game.
Exactly, but they do seem to have... I mean, some horrific things have happened in Japan. I mean, obviously, we don't tend to talk about very serious subjects, but atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima, and or one was dropped there, killing just ridiculous amounts of people. It did seem to change.
There's tsunamis.
Yeah, but it did just seem to change the culture. Whereas some countries
have the nuclear power station,
which was I remember seeing that, and that was a real sort of. But Hiroshima and Nagasaki, obviously that was at the end of the Second World War, and sort of didn't immediately end the war, but shortly after. But Japan seemed to go in a different direction from there, whereas other countries seem to have seen that as that's the way forward. Japan seemed to turn away from that, and their culture and generally the country is much better for. Oh, that was terrible. I don't mean much better. That should never have happened in a million years, but the reaction to it was a very positive reaction, and they've changed the way they look at things, and they seem to have, like we say about how friendly they are, how healthy they are. That they've looked at things in a different way because of it. They've learned from it rather than gone in a rather poorly judged direction.
You've got a song?
I have got a song. Did you want to hear this song? It's about another thing that I'm quite fascinated with Japan as well. Shall I just let the song start?
Well, I haven't agreed to listen to it yet.
Would you like to listen to my song, Connor?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, go for it.
I was sitting feeling bored one day with a pile of paper and so I didn't know what to do, so I began to fold. I folded once, it's a tiger, twice it became a snake. Heaven knows how many more of these I'll make. Welcome to the origami safari. Let's hope it doesn't rain. If you look ahead, you will see my paper animals blowing about the plane. Have you seen the paper hippos bathing in the fake lagoon? Herds of paper wildebeest silhouetted against a paper moon. Folded paper gibbons in a folded paper tree. Folded frogs on folded logs, so much for you to see. Welcome to the origami safari. Let's hope it doesn't rain. If you lots of fun for me and you.
Game time.
Woohoo! Right, let's do a game then.
Yes, we can do a game. We're going to do...
What kind of game are we going to be playing? Like poker, Monopoly,
no.
Game of Life?
No, I don't fancy doing any
Mario.
of that. I fancy doing something different for a change.
Oh, different, yeah?
Yeah. Can we do a multiple choice quiz about the subject matter?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, let's do that then. So, I think we should play The Sting.
All right.
Nihon no bankan ni twisit nani o shite imosu ka. Dore dore.
Nice Sting.
It is. I do apologise for my Japanese in that Sting.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
No, but I did. So there you go. Okay, so are you ready?
Is this the first question?
It is.
Yes.
There's 11 questions. The first question is, are you ready? Are you not ready? Are you never ready?
Never ready.
Right. Yeah, correct. Right. Question 1. What fruit was modified to help packing in Japan? Was it A, they made round bananas? Was it B, they made square watermelons? Or was it C, they made triangular apples in order for them to be packed?
They are very well. For one, the did you say triangular?
Triangular apples.
So they're very famous for their square watermelons.
Oh, you know that, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, knickers. Sorry about that language.
They're made inside a box. They grow them in a box.
But do you know they don't really? They're very expensive, and they don't actually eat them a lot of the time. They're just used as to show
Ornaments.
Yeah, almost like that for a period of time. Okay.
It's like my Cheetos over there.
Like your Cheetos over there, yes.
Cost a lot. And now I don't know, because they cost so much, you don't know whether to open them.
Is it just one big packet?
Yep.
Oh dear, yes, that is a problem, isn't it? Question 2.
The Oreos, on the other hand,
they're going to last forever.
yeah, only one a day for the next 50 years.
Right.
The cans, though, they'll go quick.
Yes. Is that it?
Yes.
Question 2. How tall is the average Japanese man?
We should have spoken about Kit Kats.
Is he 5'5" tall? Is he 5'6" tall? Or is he 5'7" tall?
5'6".
You're an inch out. It's in fact 5'7" on average.
I would have always been
man.
an inch out.
No, because if you said 5'5",
No, like,
you'd have been 2 inches out.
But if it went either way, if I went for the middle, it'd always be an inch out.
Yeah, okay. Wow, I didn't realise this was going to get picked apart like this. Question 3, let's get through
I'm
this.
not being funny. How long have you known me?
Oh, too long.
I always pick things
Question
apart.
3, what is the ratio?
Too long? How rude.
What is the ratio of vending machines to people in Japan? Is there 15 vending machines to every person in Japan? Is there 23 vending machines to every person in Japan? Or is there 31 vending machines to every person in Japan?
15.
Unfortunately, you're 8 out. It is 23 vending machines for every person in Japan.
I thought you just went for that because it's my age.
No. Did you realise? Did you know what they sell in these?
Did you realise?
They pretty much sell anything in vending machines. You can get cars, you can get underwear, you can get lettuce, you can get eggs, you can get anything in these vending machines.
Convenient, isn't it?
That is bizarre.
The people who run the vending machines make a lot of money.
They must do. But there's that sort of convenience food, isn't there? It's like sort of, again, it's sort of technology. As far as that's concerned, you know, you go, you pay your money, it's released almost robotically to you. But yeah, that fascinates me. That just seems mad. 23 vending machines to every person. Anyway.
Seems the wrong way around, doesn't it? Seems that you should have 23
people to one. And that would still be quite a lot. Yeah. Question 4.
I got to think, there's 2 vending machines in my office at work.
Exactly. There's 1 in mine.
They did used to have more, in fairness, but they changed it to a vending self-service little shop.
Oh, right, okay.
That has no staff in it.
That's the way forward.
But there's 6 of those little self-service shops.
And how many people in? There's like thousands of people in your office,
yeah.
Probably. All in all, yeah. Question 4. What are you encouraged to do while you're at work in Japan?
Oh, we'll just talk about work.
A, sleep? Is it B, bring your family with you? Or is it C, sing?
You're encouraged to sleep.
You are encouraged to sleep. This is almost like you've looked up or have some knowledge of this.
Some knowledge.
Right, okay.
This is the idea of a quiz, by the way.
Yeah, to test your knowledge.
Just to let you know.
Right, okay.
That's the idea of a quiz. You can't get upset that I know the answers.
Well, I do get a little bit upset that you know the answers. Yes, apparently napping is encouraged because people work very long hours in Japan. And they're encouraged to nap so that they're fresh and in fact, it's if you do nap, it's quite a good thing. It's seen as quite a good thing. So people would fake naps in order to look like they need naps, if you know what I mean. So it looked like they're working really, really hard.
They do a similar thing in. This sounds horrendous, but I think they do a similar thing in some other factories. I want to say across China, but you see them having naps on at their workstations, and they just lean forward and sleep like that because they are working like so much.
I can't do that in my work.
No,
I used to work with someone that had perfected something on their computer in front of them, and they used to wear their glasses, which had a kind of tint to them, so you couldn't really see their eyes. And they had a program on there that would refresh the screen every so often, and they used to sit there and have a sleep. But if anybody came up to it or sort of looked past them, they'd see these things coming up, and it looked like they were actually working. Ingenious. Anyway, question.
Were they sacked?
No. Question 5. What are you likely to be asked to take off before entering a Japanese house? Is it A, your shoes? Is it B, your hat? Or is it C, your trousers?
Your hat.
Your hat?
Yeah.
No, it's shoes, I'm afraid.
I thought that seemed too common.
Well, I think probably it's rude to wear a hat indoors anyway, but it's specifically you take off your shoes before you go into a house. And I think when I read it originated from the fact that people used to eat from the floor. And if you were walking in there, obviously you're walking from outside, it would make that environment sort of less...
You'd much rather have people's sweaty feet on it.
Yes, well, they had its pluses and its minuses. Okay, question 6. The Kanamara Masuri Festival is held every year, but what is it? Is it A, celebration of technology? Is it B, a celebration of the samurai? Or is it C, a celebration of the penis?
A celebration of the penis.
It is a celebration of the penis and female fertility. Apparently every year there's this huge festival to do with it. Didn't think you were going to get that one either. Question 7.
Because you didn't laugh after you said it.
I know.
You used to do that and you used to give it away.
I know. I'm trying to be a bit more measured with it, and I'm ever so hot. Question 7. Why do the Japanese avoid using the number 4? Did you hear that, or do I need to repeat
why do the Japanese avoid using number 4?
Is it A, because they only use odd numbers? Is it B, because the word for 4 is the same as the word for death? Or is it C, they don't? It's actually the number 6 they avoid.
Number 4 is the same as the death one.
Is that a guess?
Ish.
What do you mean, ish?
Well, I'm pretty sure it is the number 4 that's seen as unlucky in Japan.
It is, and it's because the word for 4 is the same as the word for death.
So I knew it wasn't C.
So they don't tend to have a full floor, because in this country, quite often you don't have a number 13 house, and very much in we have sort of sheltered housing for the older generation, and certainly in those environments, very rarely do you have a number 13 flat or bungalow or house. It's completely ruled out, and that's because of superstition as well. But that happens. That happens in Japan. Huh?
We got a podcast on that.
We have. But 4 is left out.
Not the Norse god.
Not the Norse god, no. Question 8. Japan has over 1,500 of these each year. But what are they? Is it A, earthquakes? Is it B, power cuts? Or is it C, bank holidays?
1,500 bank holidays a year.
Hey,
that'd be pretty good.
Hey, it can happen. They've got a different calendar to us.
Have they?
No.
Oh, didn't think so.
So Japan has over 1,500 of these each year.
Earthquakes.
It is earthquakes.
Sorry to butt in.
But we talked about tsunamis as well, and obviously
they're linked.
Very much linked.
An earthquake is a tsunami. But if you think about it, they're also quite common for tsunamis because they're made up of so many islands.
Yes, no, absolutely.
And they're on the edge of a tectonic plate, hence the reason they get so many earthquakes. We don't get any earthquakes because we're in the middle of a tectonic plate.
Yeah.
And we don't get tsunamis because we're in the middle of a tectonic plate. You just don't get stuff like that.
Because we're in the middle of a tectonic plate.
Yeah.
Question 9. Every Japanese person has their own what? A,
belly button.
Penguin. B, seal. Or C, dolphin.
It's B, seal, but it's as in a seal, not as in a seal as in
Damn
the animal.
He's seen through my...
It's a wax seal.
It is, known as a hanko. The seal is typically your name translated into kanji characters. Damn it, I thought I was going to get you that one.
Yeah, I've seen it because people go there and they buy their own seal.
Oh, there you go. And your last question. During the feudal period...
It's like a signature.
Yeah, I know, yeah. During the feudal period... Wealthy Japanese lords fitted their houses with nightingale floors. But why? Was it A, to encourage birds to nest beneath them? Was it B, because it gave off a scent that was thought to be medicinal and soothing? Or was it C, as an anti-ninja alarm?
There genuinely was a fear at one point of ninjas. Genuinely, across the world, that is. Because there was so many people, like there was a big focus on it. I can't remember who specifically I heard talk about it the other day, but someone said there was genuinely, they used to do certain things because there was a fear of ninjas. Was it something to do with royalty? Was it when we did the royalty podcast?
I don't remember that. We didn't talk about it, but it might have been something you looked at.
Anyway, so there was genuinely a fear of ninjas at a point in time. The nightingale medicinal thing, I think, is a link to Florence Nightingale, which could be a reason of why she was named. But then that actually came from... It was in her name, wasn't it? No, it wasn't.
What?
Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale was Florence Nightingale.
Was that actually her name, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's not B. I'm going to go for C, the ninjas one.
That is correct. It was. And it basically was a squeaky floor, a deliberately squeaky floor that was made so that they could hear ninjas coming because there was such a fear. I mean, these are sort of wealthy Japanese land owners, and they would fit them to their houses in order to give them an early warning signal if there was any ninjas about to attack. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah,
I loved that. I thought that was such a fantastic fact, story, whatever you like to call it. But And again, I'm taken aback by the fact that you knew that as well.
Well, I think it was. I think it's something to do with royalty. They do. Oh no! I remember what it was now. So, do you remember?
Do you remember
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
There was a ban on the word ninja in the UK.
Yeah. Hero Turtles, they were called.
Because of a genuine fear of ninjas at the time. So they stopped using the word ninja in the UK.
But that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So there was a fear of ninjas in the 80s.
Yeah.
Why?
And
because I remember it changing because it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then it was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles and so Heroes in a Half Shell.
So it was the Hero Turtles, and then they also, I don't know if you remember, but they changed Michelangelo. He used to have nunchucks, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they removed his nunchucks and replaced them because nunchucks were seen as too violent.
Pizza cutters.
They were too violent nunchucks. So do you know what they replaced them with?
Go on.
I'm pretty sure it was
stabby
swords.
Things. Yeah. To be honest, the others have got like forks and ninja stars and things like that. Surely. What did they have? Tagliatelle had.
No. So you had Donatello, who had a stick.
Yeah.
No,
a staff.
Donatello. Yeah, Donatello was the purple one, wasn't he? And Leonardo was the blue one, and he had he had two swords. And you had Raphael, who had big kind of forks.
And so they were all weapons.
Yeah.
So what was I had no idea that was the reason they did it. I thought it was just that they deemed it as being something more violent, and they were worried about kids getting ninja stars and things like that. I mean, the bottom line, if they had them sort of weaponry, they had some sort of weaponry. They shouldn't have had them in the first place. However,
it was due to censoring the word ninja.
Yeah. But I didn't realise that was why a ninja was censored. I thought that was just purely around the fact that they thought it was more of a violent thing.
The British government was on the offensive against violence children in television, and ninjas and nunchucks were both in the firing line.
Yeah.
As such, in spite of the pre-existing comic line, it soon became clear that Ninja Turtles wasn't going to be allowed near England's impressionable youth. Thus, the Turtles need to be called heroes, not ninjas.
But that wasn't a fear of ninjas as such. Right. It was a fear of the word ninja.
There was a fear of ninjas at one point.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that.
That's from a website called Mental Floss, by the way.
All right. Well, we do need to cite them if we're actually taking their information.
It was written in 2018.
Yes.
By Mental Floss UK. No actual author, just the website was the author.
Okay. But I do remember that. I do remember that happening and thinking,
it's this PC article being written on the May 29th?
Yeah, absolutely. I was there. Yep. PC gone mad, but there you go. Okay. Well, there you go. You did quite well with that one. That was one of your more impressive...
you said that whenever I get like more than two right.
Yeah, because most of the ones I do for you, I deliberately try and make them so they're not so they're massively difficult, but I look for silly things that you may not even think could possibly be the case. Because what's the point? I could set your quizzes all day long, but I wouldn't find that particularly interesting to listen to. They may not find it interesting to listen to anyway, but we don't really know that because no one ever comments anyway, do they?
Well,
so we can't change things if we don't know what people want us to change, can we? So that's an idea.
Exactly.
People need to do this.
Well, the thing is as well. There's so much when it comes to Japan that we've not mentioned.
Oh, we have. I'm sorry again. We've only really skirted.
I'm just going to name a bunch of Japanese things: sushi, samurais, ninjas, nunchucks. I'm just
naming ninjas.
The same stuff that we've already spoken about. Toyota, Yamaha.
Well, they are very big
Suzuki.
on car manufacturing as well, and sort of. Okay, can I just ask you one question about that then? Have you ever tried sushi?
Yes.
And your opinion?
Don't like it.
No. Okay.
Nice
It's
chat.
not something that appeals to me, to be quite honest, but lots of people do eat it over here. And
my fish had words with me and they said no.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's the end really, I think. And I think if there is anything you want to say to us, like Dad said, if you're unhappy with what's happened here today and you want to let us know.
Unhappy.
You want to
we
make
never
a
do anything
complaint,
to try and
question,
upset
suggestion, comment. You can do that on the website at fatherandsundays.com. Go to the contact us section. You can do it on there, or you can email us at contactus@fatherandsundays.com, or you can leave comments on any of the pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can like, share, follow us on those and comment on those as well. But the website's a great place to get all the episodes on there. They also lead you to all your chosen podcast platforms, which we are available on. There's a store to help keep us going, and also rate us on your chosen podcast platform.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you ever so much, everybody, for listening to us drivel on about these particular subjects. I mean, don't worry, we've got plenty more where that came from.
And it's episode 70.
It is episode 70. I've got a feeling, I mean, we're heading towards 75, which feels fairly significant, but then obviously there's the big 100, which is not that far off considering how we whip through these week on week. So
well, I'm going to make a big guess and say it's going to take 30 weeks.
Well, yeah, no, it will. So it's quite a long while.
Yeah.
But it's still, if we're still doing them, then we're going to make that a biggie. Yeah. We've got to make that a biggie, haven't we?
Yes. Is there anything else you want to say?
Just sayonara.
Oh, I just want to say... Sorry. I just want to say apologies if we're a little bit off. It's warm.
It's warm. It's affected us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Say your thing again.
Sayonara.
All right. Bye.